it took another couple of months before they decided that he did have the concussion, and the parents came back and said, "Okay, we're not going to go. We're going to try to repair the brain via our program, our functional neurological functional medicine program." So he was able to finish high school, go to college, work, and really kind of get on with his life where the concussion is no longer a problem and it's no longer something that is affecting his life in any way. Good morning, Dr. Joe from mypotspodcast.com. I went to a wedding this weekend, and I was a doctor to the groom years ago. Um, he had a hockey concussion in eighth grade, and he actually couldn't go to school. Probably about 18 months it took him before we got him back to school. So he was going to the hospital for migraine headaches, chronic fatigue, having a really hard time getting out of bed. So he would go to the hospital and they would give him IVs to get rid of his headaches, and nothing seemed to be touching the headache at all. So his whole life was crumbling in front of him. Now, when you get a patient who's had a severe concussion, either from sports, an auto accident, or from any kind of accident in which they hit their head, then it takes them out. It takes them out of their life. Now, this kid was doing excellent in school, probably one of the top performers in his class. He was a fantastic hockey player, great athlete, big kid. Um, After he had the head trauma, people started to believe that maybe he was making this up. And I've run across this so much that kids are considered to make up their symptoms so they don't have to go to school, they can't do anything, and they really don't need much care. Um, the excuses can go on and on and on. So when the parents brought me this young man, I diagnosed him with a concussion, but the medical profession disagreed that he had a concussion. So it took another couple of months before they decided that he did have the concussion, and the parents came back and said, "Okay, we're not going to go and take him to the hospital anymore and have all these IVs done. We're going to try to repair the brain via our program, our functional neurological functional medicine program that I've been doing for 37 years." And the satisfaction that you get when you go to a wedding of a young man whose life is falling apart and that his life is back together again. So he was able to finish high school, go to college, um, work, and really kind of get on with his life where the concussion is no longer a problem and it's no longer something that is affecting his life in any way. And to see him there just was a joy that comes to your heart from all these years of study, of all these years of seeing thousands of different cases and having a tremendous effect on almost every one of them. And he's happy, he's strong, he works out a lot, he looks really good. So a young man got married, beautiful wife. She had a beautiful wedding dress. And to see their life go on when at 13, it looks like his life is ending as we know it, as we know it. Um, and so it got me over the weekend. We went to the wedding on Friday night, and then on Saturday and Sunday, I just kept on thinking about some of the other cases that I had, traumatic brain injury, especially. Another case, a kid was in an auto accident in college. He was in ROTC um, in Drexel, and he had an auto accident, and then his college career was over. And with him, he had amnesia, like really bad amnesia, bad vertigo, bad amnesia, where he really, from 1 hour to the next, he couldn't really remember everything that was going on with him. And so he had to take notes, really substantial notes in journals. And so when we started working on that case, he had not only headache pain, vertigo, dysautonomia. Now, when we did some vertigo um, rehabilitation, his heart rate would go crazy and it would just fluctuate up and down, and his dizziness would get really severe. It was really a hard case, and it just took us at least 6 months to get him out of this situation where he started to remember from day to day, where he could remember his brothers. He could remember situations that had totally lost it previously, where, things that in high school that happened with him and so forth. Now, he ended up working with me and being a neurotech in our office, a really fantastic young man. And he ended up getting married. He's got 4 kids now. And meaning you just go back to that and said, well, if he never came into a functional neurological program, where would he be today? And I doubt whether he'd be in the same place that he is today. Um, and it's kind of like patting yourself on the back, you know what I mean? And I'm like, well, patting myself on the back is great. But the things that we do in this Hope Brain and Body Recovery Center is actually fantastic. And it's the things that we do have been a culmination of years of treating some of the most complex cases and bringing those cases along in a comprehensive way, because I learned in the past that segmented care, looking at one aspect of brain function and trying and struggling to bring that one aspect of the brain function back, didn't work. So it had to be comprehensive. Had to look at their mental, emotional, physical manifestations of brain control, because the brain is a master control system on the entire body. And we know that not only controls that, but it controls your endocrine system, it controls your immune system. And when you bring the brain back into balance and you strengthen it, then what will happen is that you'll see that multiple systems, multiple metabolic systems will actually come together also. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about if a patient comes in, and right now, functional medicine is very prominent, but functional medicine doesn't work as well unless you add functional neurology. Functional neurology doesn't work as well unless you do functional medicine. So you really have to look at the body as a metabolic unit and your neurology as a neurological unit that actually functions together. And so when you talk about some of the most prevalent issues that we have, is one is chronic traumatic brain injury causing encephalopathy to the brain, or diseases like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's that are becoming so prevalent in our society right now. It's growing at an epidemic proportion. And so when you look at these diseases, there's also a autonomic component to it. every time. So we know that we have POTS, we have dysautonomic type symptomatology, and that we had to address them all. So you know that the autonomic nervous system, one of its primary job is getting nutrients to the brain, oxygenating it, getting blood flow there. Um, and so the autonomic nervous system wants to make your brain healthier so that you can live your life and do more work. And when it starts to dysfunction, either by trauma or chronic inflammation, chronic inflammatory disorders, then it's got a weight on it. It just pulls it down and it just can't coordinate properly. And that's always reflected in the patient's life impact. So today I had a reality check from seeing a past patient be thriving in their life. Because, when you're just barely surviving, then thriving is lost. The ability to thrive is lost. Or if you have a patient that's always thrived. And I had one call today, a patient that always thrived, has several businesses, was kind of the guy who did everything in his family. Made everybody lunch and dinner, got them where they needed to go, ran 2 businesses, was always home. And now he's like saying, oh my goodness, man, I can't do anything. I mean, I just call my businesses unless the building's burning down. Don't call me. Leave me alone. That's nowhere to be. And we're getting more and more cases that are like that. Cases that have just lost their thrive and they're in survive and barely surviving to the point where they can get mobile, they can make the good decisions that they need to make every day and have a better life. So today, let's celebrate our successes, but also let's shout out to every patient out there who feel like their life is crumbling and they need a pickup and they need a comprehensive pickup. And if you do, then give us a call. It's Dr. Joe from My Pots Podcast, and I'm signing off. And God love you.
Thank you for joining us on My Pots Podcast. If you're looking for more support, visit us at hopebraincenter.com or follow our journey on TikTok, where we share daily insights and inspiration. Remember, healing is possible. I'm living proof. I'm Dr. Joseph Schneider, and I'll see you next time as we continue exploring paths to recovery.